They said he couldn't do it. They said he was too small, too inexperienced, too ordinary to ever make a difference. Every word they spoke dripped with doubt, and every look they gave him told the same story. Failure was his destiny. But he learned one thing early on. The world will always test the fire inside you, and only those who refuse to be extinguished will discover what they're truly made of. His story began in a small, forgotten town where dreams were treated like jokes. He grew up surrounded by people who believed survival was enough, that comfort was better than courage. But he had something in him that refused to stay quiet. Every morning, looking at the cracked mirror on his wall, he'd whisper to his reflection, "They don't believe in me, but I will make them remember my name." It wasn't arrogance. It was a promise. To himself, to the child he once was, to the dream that refused to die. He started small, as all dreams do, and people laughed. They called him foolish for trying, for dreaming beyond what they could see. He heard their whispers, calling him delusional, saying he was wasting his life. Some said he should just give up, get a normal job, and live like everyone else. But what they didn't understand was that he was never meant to blend in. He was born to prove that no matter how many hands try to pull you down, one determined heart can still rise. The days turned into battles. The nights turned into wars with himself. There were moments when his hands shook from exhaustion, when his mind screamed for rest, when everything around him told him to quit. But every time he felt like giving up, he remembered their words, the laughter, the disbelief, the rejection. Those words became his fuel. Every insult became a reason to push harder. Every doubt became a reason to keep going. He knew that if everyone was against him, then everyone would lose. He worked when others slept. He studied when others partied. He built his dream in silence, one failure at a time. There were days he felt completely alone, like the whole world had turned its back on him. But solitude has a strange power. It can break you, or it can build you, and he chose to let it build him. The silence became his workshop, the darkness his companion, and his pain his weapon. He learned to move through failure like a warrior walking through smoke, scarred, but never stopped. One evening, as the sunset painted the sky, he looked out the window of his small room and whispered, "They still don't believe in me." His voice trembled, not with fear, but with fire. But they will. He had lost friends along the way, people who said they'd support him, but left when things got hard. He had faced betrayal and mockery, but he started to realize something. People don't hate you because you're weak. They hate you because you remind them of what they could be if they had your courage. Their hate was never about him. It was about their own fear. So he made a quiet vow, "I will not fight them with anger. I will fight them with success." And that's exactly what he did. Every single day became an act of defiance. Every small win, every little bit of progress was a silent scream to the world. "You were wrong about me." He didn't need to shout it. He just needed to show it. Years passed. The same people who once called him foolish now started to whisper his name with respect. Some pretended they had always believed in him, but he didn't care anymore, because the battle was never against them. It was always against the part of himself that wanted to quit. And now, that part had lost. He had won. But victory didn't come wrapped in applause or fame. It came in the quiet moments, looking back and realizing how far he'd come. It came in the mornings when he woke up knowing he didn't break when life tried to crush him. It came in the peace he felt, no longer needing validation from anyone. He had become his own strength, his own proof, his own reason to keep going. Of course, the world doesn't stop testing you just because you've won once. Soon he faced new enemies, more powerful people, more ruthless systems, fiercer storms. This time, the opposition wasn't just voices. It was barriers that seemed impossible to break. But he smiled, because he had already learned that no one can defeat a man who refuses to stop fighting. There were times the odds were so stacked against him it felt ridiculous to even try. But he remembered his promise. If everyone is against me, everyone will lose. This wasn't arrogance. It was conviction. The kind of conviction that comes when you've been pushed down so many times that standing back up becomes second nature. So he did what he had always done. He kept moving. He kept fighting. The battles got bigger. The stage got larger. But his heart stayed the same. He reminded himself, pressure creates diamonds. The heavier the opposition, the brighter he would shine. Failure no longer scared him. It had already taught him everything success couldn't. He learned how to rebuild from ashes, how to walk alone through storms, and how to find light in the darkest corners of his soul. Years later, he returned to his hometown. The streets looked the same, but he didn't. The boy who was once laughed at was now a man who carried storms in his eyes and peace in his heart. As he walked past the people who once doubted him, he saw the disbelief on their faces, but he just smiled. This moment wasn't about revenge. It was about realization. The realization that no one can define your worth but you. He stood in front of that same cracked mirror from his childhood, the one that had seen every tear, every failure, every promise. This time, his reflection didn't look fragile. It looked unshakable. He whispered softly, "We did it." The reflection smiled back, proud and strong. He had proven not only to the world, but to himself, that belief is stronger than any barrier. But he wasn't done, because real warriors never stop. The next battle is always against comfort, the temptation to stop striving once you've succeeded. So he kept going, not for applause, but for the voice inside that still whispered, "There's more." He became the kind of person others looked up to, the person he once needed when he was struggling. He helped others find their fire, reminding them that even when everyone is against you, it doesn't mean you're wrong. It might just mean you're different. And being different is the beginning of greatness. Years later, a young dreamer came to him full of doubt. The man looked at him, smiled, and said, "Let them doubt you, let them laugh. Because when they're all against you, remember, if you don't quit, they will lose." The boy didn't understand it then, but he would. Because no matter how loud the world gets, the truth remains. If everyone is against you and you refuse to give up, everyone will lose. He had lived that truth. He had fought for it. And in the end, he realized something powerful. Sometimes the world isn't really against you. It is just trying to see if you believe in yourself as much as you say you do. And when you do, when you stand tall despite the storms, when you keep walking even when the world tries to hold you back, life eventually bows to your persistence. So, to everyone who's been doubted, laughed at, and told they're not enough, remember this: they might have more resources, more people, more power, but if you have more heart, you've already won. Let them be against you. Let them count you out. Because when your determination is your weapon and your faith is your shield, then no matter how many stand against you, in the end, they will all lose. The truth is simple. One person with relentless belief can outweigh a crowd of doubters. When you rise after every fall, you don't just prove them wrong. You prove that you were never fighting them at all. You were fighting the part of yourself that once believed them. And the moment you win that battle, no one can ever stand against you again. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content that fuels your fire. Stay strong, and we'll see you in the next one.